Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Simon and we are the Whales of Wall Street, going through one of our favourite crypto assets, Veracity, that's VRA, on the exchange. So guys, what has been occurring? Before we go into the charts, let's take a quick look at a couple of updates. So we covered in the last video the sensational opportunity that they're trying to get a second patent around proof of view. This is really going to help out the NFT aspect of crypto. So we went into quite a bit of detail in the last one, so go check that out, as well as the chart analysis, which we're obviously going to develop on our theories and thoughts from that one into this one as well. So very much that update was around the authenticity of NFTs, the proof of view, smart contract technology to ensure that you as a consumer who are interested or wanting to buy NFTs are getting the pristine original formats, or even if it was a used one, with smart contract technology, of course, you are able to see the transactional history, the origin and everything like that, including the creator on the flip side will be able to see the pathway of his assets too. So obviously removing potential copyright, fraudulent activity and this kind of thing. A lot of that happens in the real world, of course. It happens right now in even the crypto space through NFT aspects, and predominantly as well there are other pains, of course, is around like media streaming, advertising spend and things like this. So they're really gearing towards some very unique niche like aspects of crypto. And that's why I love this project so much, because it is actually quite different to the others. You've got a lot of blockchains out there, of course, but this one with their patents, and if this second one passes through, honestly, the first patent, if it's anything like the first one, no one else can replicate what they do for 17 years minimum. That's incredible. If they've done that for the second one, then fair play. And they've got ahead of, I'm sure, a lot of competitors out there that are trying to do a similar thing. There's no doubt in my mind. NFTs obviously exploding this year. They're going to be massive for years to come, especially in gaming, of course, art, creative, and general tokenomics as well, buying, selling, anything and everything you can think of in the world. You know, that even goes down to houses. NFTs is a non-fungible token, okay? Something that doesn't have a perceived value of 1-to-1, i.e. a dollar for a dollar, even though there's debt behind it, because, you know, the governments and banks are useless. They can't help but mess us all about. But yeah, of course, NFTs have that different aspect. So I just wanted to pick up on that point that we went through last video. And of course, you know, just generally emphasize how amazing Veracity is as a project and how early it is. I think, like anything, to be honest, anything under like 5 cents is mad, like right now with Veracity, where it's going to be in the future. I'm sure there's going to be many gains possible. We'll go into some of that in the video shortly. So yeah, hopefully you guys found the most recent videos of Veracity and our intro video as well. If you haven't watched that, if you want to know more about Veracity, go and watch our intro video. I'll leave a link at the end of this one. But let us know in the comments below if you're holding VRA and what you think about it, and what's your price prediction for Veracity in this 2021/2022 potentially bull run. Guys, let's go into the chart. Before we do, please make sure that you like this video if you have found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Press that bell notification button to ensure you get notified of all the awesome videos we have coming your way in the future. Now we've got that out of the way, let's go to play in the chart. I just thought I'd add some game show music because last time it just felt a bit dead. So what have we learned in the last few days since the last video? So I've drawn a few more technical aspects to this chart. I've tried to put in a more advanced kind of funnel system against my previous one, which was basically terrible lines everywhere. So hopefully this will help explain it a bit more in terms of the potential trend line, what we're trying to achieve in terms of an upward momentum, and how maybe potentially quickly we may get into these positions. So right now we've had the correction, of course, especially including that nonsense Bitcoin day that we had. I think to be fair, it was overdue on multiple crypto assets to have these kind of corrections. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just auto scale this, and we will quickly, to be fair, have a look at the kind of percentage rise, really, if I can get my buttons right here. I think we covered this in the previous video. For those that didn't see the last video, let's just take a look at this. So between the sort of 21st of July up until the most recent point across here, which was the 5th and 6th of September, 505% increase, guys. Like, of course, we had a few small, I wouldn't even call them corrections, stepping stones, to be honest. The only corrections we had were around here. And I think we didn't just piled up, as obviously, of course, the news probably in the back end and people in the know would have heard about the painting opportunities and things like that, and got in quick before a profit was taken. But of course, Bitcoin accelerated that. So that's why I believe that's sort of come into play on that aspect. So that's where we are right now. The bullish momentum has started kicking in for Verasity, which I'm really excited about. Now, in my opinion, I think we could still potentially come back and test this area one more time, just before we start, jetting those or fueling those jets, as it were. I think this is quite a big area. So I've just been told off in the comments to mention that a lot of people apparently listen to our videos and don't watch them, which is absolutely fine. And that's great. So that's good feedback for us. And like I said, any of the videos, like if you have any feedback or, something you want improved or changed or anything like that, just let us know. That's what we're about. We want to be here for you guys and make the channel as best as it can be. So for those out there that are listening and not watching, I believe that we could potentially still come back and test that sort of 0.032 mark. So I've marked that as roughly 0.0326. Now, that's obviously not meaning it's going to be bang on that, but it's certainly something to think about. So do keep that in mind as a potential buy-in. Again, if you maybe have missed out, it's not financial advice, of course, it's just an opinion on what I would do if I was buying back in. I did sell some Verasity and I did buy back in for a bit. But yeah, of course, it's always important. I'll stress this in many videos. Take profits along the way, because along here, look at this big stepping stone area, all the way back down from 0.007. Okay, that's when it was in 21st July. We had all this nice sideways movements. It's really healthy movements from Verasity. Big build-ups, stepping stones, build-ups, stepping stones. But you've got to anticipate at some point, like, okay, cool, well, I bought down here. I'm going to take incremental values at various stages, and we'll go through a few of those potential ones in a minute, just using this kind of like fib retracement aspect. I've drawn this fan in here. This kind of entails an advancement slightly off this channel funnel. Sounds like the train from England to France here. The channel funnel, okay, so we'll go with that. So where we may have potentially touched back down here, that could signal our push upwards, but there is a possibility, of course, that we might just start tanking upwards, and I think we're well within our rights to think that. We've had this nice sort of level down trend. We've had some good sort of sell-offs and opportunities for people to start balancing the books, as it were. And in fact, what we'll do is I'll just take that top point there and drop it down to where we hit that Bitcoin day. That's 40%, which is quite respectable. And if we take it down to the most recent one, 35%, usually you see the corrections between sort of 30 and 60%. And I always think as well, it's down to the value of the project, how many people believe in it. And you've got to think about how many people may be staking this project as well. So a lot of people would have just left their staking into the exchange and gone, do you know what, I'm not going to bother. So that's one I think that is obviously not a gigantic, humongous amount of money in Verasity in terms of trading ship compared to many other assets. But I think there's a big following of Verasity now, and I think it's getting bigger and bigger. More and more people understanding what it is. Hopefully some videos like ours, and I've watched many of others, other channels, Operation Crypto, for example, likes covering this project, and that's pretty much actually how I got into the project a few months back. So there's loads of really cool YouTubers out there that cover this in different ways, and I love learning different things about them and thinking, actually, I don't agree with that, or I do agree with that. And you kind of like, for me, when we're doing the videos, is of course taking bits and pieces of that and going, okay, well, how can we develop that in our mind? And hopefully you guys get a different dimension. So let us know how we are doing, please. So yeah, as we said, we're hitting this kind of funnel approach, and we're kind of anticipating that perhaps we have done the business of selling now. Like I said, we might have one more test of this area at 0.0326 before we start seeing a big jump upwards. What's really interesting here, certainly in the last few days, we have had a number of attempts to try and break this line at 0.0399, very much just on the tip of 4 cents. The reason I put these lines in here, just in the middle of these fib retracement levels, is because we do have some interesting activity way back here between the months of April and May on both sides, both breaking resistance and finding potential support levels, of which on the way down, unfortunately, we couldn't keep. So it's really important when I drew this line in to make the understanding. And remember this video that we did back here around the end of August. I said there's not many assets I've seen where we've hit maybe 3 or 4 days exactly pinpointed, exact same amounts pretty much. 3652, 3605, 3654. It was incredible. Like, and that to me in that sense was okay. I think we're getting support here and we boosted up. It's just unfortunate we had the Bitcoin days and whatnot. But as we've already discussed, it was inevitable at some point that something had to happen. But look at this. It's come back to it. Like, it's literally hovered around it. And it looks like we'll be closing over that line today. If we do, I truly believe in the bullish momentum back up, going past that 4 cents, get the stability there. And then we're looking at this sort of area around here. So we need to go and break arguably around about 0.04, literally just over it. If we can get a close, I'm not saying it's going to happen today or tomorrow, but certainly in the next few days, we need that to really start happening soon for us to really push this. Otherwise, we might start getting bearish momentum again. A couple of other aspects. There is a slight narrowing here on the MACD, and if we can continue that momentum, I reckon by the end of this week, we might start having a bit of a switch over. The histogram is showing a bit of a pale red here, which means the selling is cooling off, and we might start seeing a switch over to that upside movement properly. So I would really like to see, in my opinion, this hasn't been a big enough drop, but we'll take it for sure. It's almost like a slow, gradual decline stepping stone before another boost up, in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how we venture towards that arguably 0.049, so very much 4.5 cents is going to be our next resistance point. I will indeed draw a line there as well, just to tip that top there. If we can break that in the next couple of weeks, I truly believe by the beginning of October, we can start pushing for that previous all-time high of around 0.55, okay, 5.5 cents. Once we do that, of course, there's going to be a retracement. There usually always is. And that could be back to this level at 5 cents. And we might even come and test these areas just below them as well. I don't really anticipate us dropping way back down here because I think that's kind of almost signed off now, including back here as well. And that's why I think we will take this to new heights, perhaps maybe even in the middle of October. And in fact, if we were to potentially, I know this is very much a guideline, guys, just bear that in mind, but if we were to continue this momentum of this line, it kind of gets into that transition, as we said, towards the end of September, beginning of October, we could start breaking that all-time high. And the reason I'm meaning that is because we'll hit resistance here. I do expect a bit of a tail off, perhaps bouncing off here or to here. Then by the time we've hit back up and gone back up to this line, we're looking around the sort of mid-October, around my birthday, by the way. Just remember that. So, guys, let's keep an eye on this. The RSI is looking a bit more positive as well. So congratulations to those that have started to perhaps purchase around this area. And it's, in my opinion, again, not financial advice, just an opinion and thought, it's not too late to be doing that. Of course, we might see a bit of a retracement still. But like I said, anything below 5 cents, in my opinion, is absolutely a steal. Bag it, tag it, do what you want. Stake it, hold it for 5. Yeah, sounds like the Twisted Bop It games. So, guys, one last thing before we kick off this video, or leave it in fact. Weekly 7% up, 85% up on the month. It's absolutely brilliant. 3 months, 153%. 6 months, by the way, just by the way, that includes the reduction decline around those few months back. 107% up. Year to date, and I'm always staggered by this one, 8,299% up year to date. Could you imagine if you purchased Verasity a year to this date and you're 8,000 odd % up? Congratulations to you guys. And you know Verasity is not done. Do you know what I'm going to throw? So this fib retracement kind of gives you an indication of where we're going. I do believe that we could get to around 30 cents in this bull run. I know it's saying like maybe a potential top line of a 20, and that to be fair is great. But if they can continue this momentum in the paintants, get more partnerships on board and keep encouraging that, I do think we could accelerate past that. So I do believe between 20 and 30 cents is very realistic. If we're going to give like an indication of an exact cost, yeah, that's what I'd kind of be looking for. And maybe in the next video, once we can confirm this area, I'll definitely maybe pinpoint that down to a bit more of a more accurate price prediction, and then we'll see how we go along the way. Of course, things change in this space, but let us know in the comments below what you think veracity will be. Guys, I didn't really want to go on for this long on this video, but I thought I would because I love it, and I hope you enjoyed it too. That just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you and veracity on the moon. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.